What up, everybody? Georgie here. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be chatting to you about my decision to move on from the Mixer platform and over to Twitch. I'm going to start by explaining a little bit about why I chose Mixer as my starting point and entry into the streaming world, and then we'll get into ultimately why I've had to make the decision to move over to Twitch instead. So as I was getting started in the streaming world, we're going back maybe a whole 7 weeks ago, so I'm still pretty green. But when I did make that decision to get started and explore, life in the streaming world, I was really looking for a platform that I felt would be very supportive of someone, not just green like to streaming, but also in gaming. I have spoken about this before, but I am not the world's most natural gamer. And so I was feeling really apprehensive about getting started into streaming in the first place. And I think that that's a whole other topic in itself. But ultimately, what I was looking for was a platform that I thought would not only be supportive of someone getting started like me, but also that was designed around up and coming streamers and having a lot of emphasis on helping new streamers get started and find their feet in a really saturated space, especially since I'm playing a major game, Apex Legends. Like that just kind of makes things a whole lot harder. And so I'll admit I wasn't overly scientific or thorough with my research, but at a surface level, Mixer seemed to be that platform. And I am really excited to say that it has been that platform for me. It's been incredibly supportive and welcoming, and I just couldn't have asked for a better way to enter the world of streaming than what my experience has been like with Mixer and the folks that I've connected with along the way. You know who you are. Thank you so much. You're amazing. I love you. Uh, so we hit the ground running. I felt that we started to experience some really good growth in the first few weeks. I think at the end of week 4 or 5, we'd hit the 200 mark. Now, again, I wasn't super scientific, so I don't know if those stats are considered to be really good considering I came in with nothing, no content, no previous sort of community background to back me up. So, I think that was a really good run for us, especially given those awesome people that we've connected with and have made lifelong friends already. Super cool. But we did hit a point in the last couple of weeks where things have really slowed down and we haven't been able to continue that momentum and build on from that. And I know that it was really early on in my journey to invest in things like branding and getting into YouTube content and like ring lights and looking at beefing up my system and stuff like that. But I really have such a strong sense that this is what I'm meant to be doing right now and that there's something really special that we're building that I just wanted to go all in. And so I've got a lot of amazing people around me helping me on that journey. And I just started to feel really anxious and nervous about the fact that we'd stopped growing and I wasn't sure why and I was losing sleep over it. And the answer is actually really obvious. And if I had have done a bit more research into Mixer, I imagine I could have figured this out much sooner. And it comes down to audience. So I'm Aussie, which means I'm streaming in Australian time zones. And it doesn't seem to be that there's a lot of Aussies or folks in our time zone on the Mixer platform. And in addition to that, I'm a PC gamer, and Mixer is, again, what it seems to be from my perspective, heavily saturated with Xbox and console players. So we have a really, really limited community that we're streaming to. Now, the community is amazing, and I can't stress that enough. But that's I believe why we sort of hit that wall, because those predominant audiences on Mixer that we're streaming to are in the US and in the EU, which means like when I get started, it's between sort of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. somewhere in that spectrum broadly that we're trying to stream to, and so that has really kind of hit the brakes for us, and that sucks because otherwise I really love Mixer. There's another nagging thing with Mixer as well that I will touch on, but not in too much detail, and that is the inability for me to be able to enable embers, which is Mixer's form of currency. And so we were getting a lot of stream viewers saying, Georgie, like, why don't you have embers enabled? And so I explored that as an option. Initially, I was really hesitant to enable any form of monetization, particularly while I'm still growing. I'm still so early on in the journey that it just felt just a little bit weird and kind of off to do that. But through the advice of those around me who I trust and really respect, they sort of pushed me towards giving that a shot. So I did. I went on through the process with Mixer, and it turns out there's a bug, and it's a long story. But the end result is that there is a bug. I can't enable embers, and there's no ETA on when that's going to be fixed, and they can't give me any more guidance beyond, sorry, we know it sucks, but we don't have an ETA and we can't fix it. So that also kind of sucked. With all of this in mind, Twitch was the next logical step for me. I'd already had an account set up from many years ago. There was already a baseline following there. I really don't even remember streaming, so that was kind of a bit of a pleasant surprise for me. So that makes sort of getting started on Twitch a bit easier. So it was kind of like a silver lining. And I booted up for the first time on Twitch a couple of nights ago. I didn't announce it. I just wanted to get a feel for things and get everything set up. It sucks because the what are they called? Like the about section is formatted beautifully on Mixer. Daz, our designer, did a really great job with the graphics there to fit the Mixer platform. So Daz, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Twitch doesn't seem to support that level of formatting, so that sucks. But that's a really small price to pay, I guess, for growth. So that's largely, well, that's actually the only reason why I'm moving on from Mixer to Twitch. It comes down to audience and not having the local audience slash local and PC audience there to go on that journey with us. So it was a hard decision, but it seems to be a very logical one. Would love to hear your thoughts if you've experienced the same thing or if you have any questions, feedback about this piece of content or any general content at all. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Thanks so much for stopping by. Georgie out. Peace.